Hey, you guys, how's it going? First and foremost, I want to say happy holidays, you guys. I thought I probably wouldn't get back into the top of the year, but I feel compelled to come back. I was just sitting here thinking, as I, throughout the course of the day, I kind of, see how I do my business, how I run my business, and I try to see how I could make it as comprehensive as possible for you guys to be able to do it. Hey, how's it going, Serena? How are you? So what I wanted to do, I titled this video the 4-quarter cleaning system, right? If you're just joining, I want you to go ahead, like, share, and subscribe. Let's get that part out the way, right? Help build up the viewership. Um, but I titled this the 4-quarter cleaning system. Okay, and the reason I did that, guys, is because I want to break this thing down. I want to make this thing as comprehensive as possible, right? Because a lot of what I say, it's not difficult to do, but it does boil down to execution, okay, of what I say, okay? And I think that's the defining factor between your business being a success or your business being a failure, or you're getting contracts or you're not getting contracts, okay? So the 4-quarter cleaning system. So when I do, like, the way I analyze my business, guys, the way I analyze my business is I analyze it per quarter. Okay, so it's 4 quarters in a year. Okay, it's 4 quarters in a year. So quarter one, my ultimate goal is to do better than I did in quarter four, right? So after the fourth quarter, you roll over to the first quarter. Okay, quarter two, I want my revenues to be better than it was in quarter one. So that's kind of how I gauge, just to kind of give you guys a little insight on how I gauge profit margins and if my business is being profitable, if I'm stagnant, if I'm dropping wise in terms of I lost contracts or anything like that. That's kind of how I gauge my business. And I think it's very, very doable for just an everyday person. I think it's very, very doable if you're the type of individual that you get totally overwhelmed, right? Like, so you started your business, you did the paperwork, you got the DBA out the way, you got the federal tax ID number, you got your banking, you got your insurance, you got all of that stuff out the way, right? So now it's time to get contracts. Okay, I think if you break it down in a systematic form, I think you guys will be a lot more profitable and probably be able to pick up more contracts than ever before. Break it down to quarters, okay? Don't rush um, don't rush your business, because then ultimately that business would definitely fail because you're kind of rushing, you're all over the place. So systematically put it together by quarters, okay? And I'm not even talking about revenue wise. I mean, eventually you want to be able to kind of keep a track of, what you did this month opposed to last month, or what you did this quarter opposed to last quarter, right? So you want to kind of gauge your revenues at some point. But I'm talking about just running your business quarter by quarter. Okay, and I was just thinking about that. It's very simple to do. Just run it quarter by quarter. So if you, for an example, like if you're just starting out, or you're a girl, or you're a guy, right? And you don't, let's say you don't have any employees, then you might say, well, you know what? For quarter one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this entire business by myself, right? I'm going to be the administration. I'm going to be the cleaner. I'm going to be everything, right? Because in the beginning, that's what it's all about. You have to be everything in the very beginning, unless you have this huge staff or you have, administration people that's working on your behalf. So in the beginning, you got to be everything, right? You got to be everything that there is for your business. Real quick, guys, if you're just joining, I want you to go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. Go ahead and get that out the way. I greatly appreciate it. So like I said, I named this the 4-quarter cleaning system. So once you start your business up, we already know the next step to your business is getting the marketing out the way. And this is where it might get a little tricky for you guys. So let's say, for an example, you've been doing door to door, right? Which is I'm a big, fan of, right? Door to door. And let's say door to door just wasn't yielding results. Now, this doesn't mean that you don't do anything else within the first quarter, right? This doesn't mean you don't do flyers, you don't do sales letters or mailers, you don't do anything else, right? But I would see what's working in the first quarter, right? Like, because we're going to gauge it by quarters, like with your marketing process, I would see what's working And whatever you build the most traction from, even if you're not getting contracts through that, I would still use that because you're getting traction, right? You're getting in the door, whether you're doing your cold calling, right, or your lead generation, okay, or you're doing your door knocking, or you're sending out your mailers, your flyers, right, or you're using social media platforms and advertisements and different things of that sort. And what I'm saying, guys, work for both residential and commercial. Okay, I'm saying essentially, like I said, what I'm saying is run your business like going into the new year. We coming into the new year now. Start off fresh slate, right? We don't want to worry about what you did last quarter. We don't want to worry about what you did last year, meaning this year, right? 2018. So when the new year's come in, I would say start today, prep today, right? We only got so many days before we 2019 in, right? Go ahead and prep today, and then just get out the box and get to running. Okay, just get out the box and get to running. But gauge it by quarter. I think it'd be a lot easier for you guys to be able to obtain your goal, kind of breaking it down to quarter by quarter, seeing what worked in quarter one, and then whatever worked in quarter one, you go ahead and carry it over to quarter two, but you can kind of try something else in quarter two, right? Quarter two to quarter three to quarter four. It's 4 quarters in a year, right? Like I say, it's a lot obtainable, because if I ask you guys, like, what's your plan for 2019? If I say, what's your plan for 2019? A lot of you guys will probably say, well, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this, I want to do that. That's what you want to do, but what's your plan, right? What have you physically written down? What do you know that you're going to really hone in on and execute on? Okay, because it's one thing to say, well, I'm going to do this, I want to do that, I'm going to do this, but if you don't have any notes, like if you don't write it down, or you don't have a systematic plan that you have in place, whether it's you talking to a tape recorder, right? Say, hey, this is my plan. This is, you got to have something solid, because when the next year comes, 2019, you're going to be all over the place if you don't kind of write things down, or at least get it to a way that you understand. That way you can execute on that plan. Now, hopefully this makes sense to you guys, okay? And like I say, that's how I decide my revenues, my profit margins, right? I decided by quarter. What did I do first quarter that I didn't do fourth quarter? What did I do, second quarter that I didn't do first quarter, right? So again, just try to break your business down by quarter. Like I say, don't rush it. Don't rush it, because when you rush it, it's where you make mistakes, okay? I like to tell people to start with medium to small size accounts. Okay, you don't have to get a building this big. A lot of times, big buildings are headaches, and they don't pay as much as you think they pay. Okay, the smaller accounts, the once a week accounts, twice a week accounts, the 3 times a week accounts, are perfect little great starters for you guys. Okay, the once a week accounts, twice a week accounts, and 3 times a week accounts are perfect little contracts to start with. Right, these are your banks. These are your churches. These are your chiropractor office. These are your dentist offices, right? Your law firms, right? Maybe little storefronts, right? So again, start small and just build it up, and that revenue is going to start compounding. Yeah, it might be $200 a month here. Hey, how's it going, Melendez? It might start off looking kind of weak, right? You got $200 account here, or you clean this one once a month, right? You clean this one twice a month. You got $400 here, $300 there, $500 there, right? So when you look at that revenue, just think the total hours you're putting in monthly on that, right? And a lot of times people are not making what you're doing for those 8 hours a month, or whatever, depending on what type of account it is, or 16 hours a month, or whatever the case is, right? People are not making in that time frame what you're billing on a monthly basis, generally speaking, right? So it takes people to get 40 hours, we just using an example, it takes people to get 40 hours at their regular job to do what you're doing in 20 hours, right? So you're doing it for half the time, and you're making way more, or you making what they making, 40 hours in 2 weeks, like 80 hours, right? They get paid bi-weekly, 80 hours, you're doing that in 20 hours, right? So is it worth it? You have to think of it like that. A lot of people say, well, $200 isn't a lot, but $200 doesn't mean a lot to the bottom line when it's coming in on a consistent basis, right? You got to look at it from that perspective. Okay, so in the beginning, like when I first started my business, guys, like I say, my first account was like $300, right? And then I had a $500 account, and then I had a whatever, account, maybe a 275. But all of that revenue coming in, it means so much when you get those checks in abundance, month after month, right? Or week after week if you're doing residential. And like I said, guys, the same stuff apply for your residential side, your residential business. Let's break it down to quarters. If you haven't registered your business, you want to go ahead and register your business, get your EIN number, get your banking, get all of the legal stuff out the way first, right? Whether you're doing a partnership, whether you're doing a sole proprietor, whether you're doing an LLC, or whether you're going into some type of corporation form, which is not necessary, but some people want to go that route. Whatever legal structure you want to use, go ahead and get it set up. Okay. For an example, if you say, well, you know what, I can't afford to do this right now, then do the minimum, right? So just do your local county courthouse sole proprietor startup, right? Okay, and then when you get to making some money, if it's pretty pricey in your area to do LLC, hey, how's it going, Miss B? And it's pretty pricey to do, let's say, a LLC or something like that in your area, then go ahead and just start up just the local way, right? You start up with your sole proprietor, and then as you get more money or the revenue start coming in, or you save a little bit more money, then you can go ahead and apply for the LLC. Okay, so and when you do the LLC, you don't necessarily need a EIN number. You can use your social security number. You will need an EIN number when you decide to hire someone. Okay, I'm gonna say that again. When you decide to hire someone, you will need your EIN number. But if you're just self-employed and you're just doing it by self, you can't use your social security number with your sole proprietorship. Okay. Once again, once you decide to hire someone, then you're going to need that EIN number or the federal tax ID number. Okay, so we're starting back from the basis. I talked about this on other videos before, but I'm just kind of catching people up that may just be curious about the startup. So in your first quarter, it's 4 quarters in a year, you're going to say, you know what, I'm going to do my startup process. I'm going to get my bank account. I'm going to shop around for maybe lawyers, right? Because eventually you're going to need them. You might not necessarily hire them. Just shop around, ask around, join BNI meetings, or just kind of be out and about. You can go through Google, right, and find lawyers and kind of compare and contrast why you want this lawyer over that lawyer, right? Different ways to do it, right? Same thing for accountants and different things like that. Okay, you kind of want to shop around. You don't want to just say, oh, this lawyer is cheap to use, so I'm going to use this lawyer. Okay, you don't want to do it like that. You just want to see what type of reviews they got. Why you want this lawyer opposed to this lawyer. Okay, so I'm just kind of starting from the basics with you guys. We're going to work it. You work it quarter by quarter. So we're talking about the first quarter here, right? Your first quarter, you're going to set the business structure, get your bank, right? We're going to start looking around for lawyers and different, important people that you need, right? Lawyers, accountants, things like this, right? And then you want to go into your marketing, okay? Now, some people tell me, well, Fabio, I'm not good with the telephones, but I'm good with face-to-face meetings or being personable, right? Face-to-face. So if you know the telephone isn't your thing, that doesn't mean don't do it, right? Because when I first started, I wasn't good at anything, to be honest. I was a little shy about going in. I didn't really want to hear the word no, right? Because I didn't want them to tell me no and then I have to leave and that type of thing. I didn't really want to do the phone calls because I didn't really want to be hung up on, or at least that's what I was thinking I was going to be hung up on. But I kept going. I kept going. I kept going. I kept going, and I got a lot better at it, right? Got totally a lot better at it. Now, to backtrack a little bit, I know I said with your marketing, but let's make sure your paperwork is good too. Okay, let's get all your paperwork, whatever paperwork you think you need. I can send you a list of items, or have my assistant send you a list of items that you might want to take a look at in terms of paperwork, besides agreements and other forms and documents that you might want to have when starting up your business. Okay. Now we sell them, and you don't necessarily have to buy them through me, but I can have them say, hey, you might want to get this, you might want to take a look at that, you might want to get this, you might want to get that, right? Because your paperwork is very, very important. Okay. You don't want just a cheesy contract, because everything is perception. When it looked cheesy, thought is you're probably cheesy, right? So you don't want to have that holding all over your head like that. You want to make sure you have at least decent paperwork, right? It don't have to be the most elaborate paperwork, the most elaborate documents or anything like that, but you want to have something that's fair, okay? That's just decent, not just a bunch of white spaces and blank lines, that type of thing, okay? Because again, perception is everything. So to bring it back from the start, right? You want to go ahead, like I said, this we're talking about first quarter now. You want to go ahead, get your business registered, bank account, your whatever, if you're going to get a LLC or whatever form or structure of business, you got to get an EIN number, right? Your bank account. You're going to shop like lawyers, right? Just kind of compare and contrast, look different lawyers up, and see why you would do this lawyer over that lawyer, right? And then I would suggest that you probably go from that to getting your paperwork. Get all your documents that you need, whether you purchasing the documents or whether you found it on the internet or whether you know someone that's good at drawing up documents or whatever the case is. I tell people a lot of times you can find students to do these documents. Like if you got students that go to college and they're taking up business or whatever, if you go to the college and you just maybe like say go to a college library, right? You're bound by networking, you're bound to run into somebody that will be able to help you with your business in their chosen field, right? So if there's a student that's taking up law, well, he might not necessarily be a lawyer, but he might know enough information or have a connection with someone that might be able to help you with your cleaning business, okay? Or might be able to point you in a different direction. So I do like universities or colleges, because you don't necessarily got to be a student to go up there and inquire about different things. You go up there, you kind of network with different students, right? You see, and even with the professors, you let them know what you're doing. They might have a class that you can take, a business class or outside business class that you can take, or they might have something like within your area that you don't even know about that they know about, that they'll be able to point you in the right direction. So I would suggest doing that too, guys. It's just me being creative, me thinking outside of the box. A lot of people wouldn't think to do something like that, right? So I'm kind of giving you my way of thinking, right? Because when you don't know something, it's not the end of the earth. You just don't know it, right? But once you apply yourself, get yourself out there, decide what you're going to do with the time that you have available in your 24 hours. Again, that can mean the difference between night and day. That could mean the difference between success and not being successful. If you're just joining me, I want you guys to go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. Go ahead, like, share, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Again, we named this video the 4-quarter cleaning system. Okay, the 4-quarter cleaning system, because we want to break it down by quarters. And that way that way you'll be able to gauge what you did the first quarter that was different than the fourth quarter, what you did the second quarter that was different than the first quarter, and then you can kind of gauge your revenues from there. You can say, you know what, the first quarter I only did, I don't know, $1,200, to keep the numbers low, right? So the first quarter I only did $1,200 in monthly revenue. My goal going into the second quarter is to double that revenue. So if you're going to double the revenue, then you have to double the what? You have to double the action, right? You have to double the marketing process. Okay. Now let's talk about monies that come in. Monies that come in. The money that come in is really your business money, guys. You don't really want to start paying yourself right off rip. That's why I suggest people, if you have a job, to maintain that job at least. Hey, how's it going? Strategic thinking 2019. Let's get it done. Great. Exactly. That's what I'm on, HB. So if you got a job, I would suggest, and I know you probably want to get out of the job and all of that stuff, right? I would suggest that you guys hang on to the job, because the money that come in from the job can help you on your regular home bills, right? That way you don't necessarily have to worry about those bills being paid, and what if you didn't get this contract, or what if the numbers low, you didn't get this, right? That way the revenue that come in from the business, you can kind of use that revenue just strictly for the business, and then use the money that you're living off of and that comes in. Now you might have to take a little bit here and there, get your business cards, a little bit here and there to maybe buy some forms or buy some agreements. You guys get where I'm going, right? You take a little out of that paycheck money to do certain things just because you don't have the money to do it. So you got to be strategic in how you move with it, all right? So let's bring it back. Fourth quarter thinking, okay? So first quarter, you go ahead, let's say you set your business up, you got that out the way, you got your bank, you got, you're shopping for lawyers, you haven't picked yet, but you're shopping for lawyers, you're shopping for accountants, things like that, right? Secondly, you want to move to your paperwork. Okay, so your agreement, your non-compete, your non-disclosure, your estimate breakdown, your estimate sheets, all these different forms, right? You want to kind of gather that stuff now. Okay, like if you don't have it now, you want to gather it now. Okay, if you have it, then you're already on the right track. Now the next thing after that is kind of go to market, right? You want to go ahead, market, solicit, try to get new contracts, try to get traction coming in the door, right? Because without that, right, we don't make any money. So you want to go ahead and definitely do that. You want to kind of get the vibe for where you excel and where you don't excel. Okay? Me, I don't excel at everything, but I do know that I'm good at certain things and other things I'm not so good at. I do it because it needs to be done, but I'm not necessarily good at certain things. Okay? Now, where I have the advantage, that other people don't have, I can outsource things to people that's good at things that I'm not good at. You might not have that, the money to do that. You might not have that as an advantage to you. So you have to be everything to everybody in the very, very beginning. And it's cool to be that way because at least you get some type of training in it, right? Whether it's doing your lead generations and you making the calls and those type of things, right? Whether it's you going door knocking, whether you're throwing your hand at SEO or you're throwing your hand at online marketing, right? You're using Facebook, you're using Instagram, you're using LinkedIn, you're using these different type of social sites, right? And the list goes on and on. For PR to pub, a lot of people shy away from pub. Pub is some of the easiest ways to make money. If you get press, get a little publicity, area help build brand recognition, visibility to your business. Okay, it keeps the community eye on you. And I like to use the lawyers all the time, guys. I know I'm kind of getting off the subject. I'm gonna get back to it, but don't be afraid of getting pub. Don't be afraid of getting PR, getting press, pitching your story, whether you're picking it up in or trying to get picked up on the radio, getting picked up in the newspaper, getting picked up on your evening news or your morning news. Right? Craft the story. Right? Pitch it to the news or pitch it to the radio, and just get that airplay. That radio play, that television play, right? Get in print, stories tell, right? So when let's say you get in a local newspaper, you can piggyback off of that and send that to your clients, right? So you got the story, you got this big feature in your local paper. You can take that paper, and when you're out marketing different things, right, you can go ahead and use that particular article to help you gauge contracts. Hey, we've been written up in the Detroit News. We've been written up in the Atlanta Journal, or whatever the case is, right? You'll be able to use that, and it'll help sell you and solidify you to a certain degree. That's just the way I think. I'm a big fan. I don't talk a lot about pub because I know a lot of people just shy away. They don't want to be on camera. They don't want to necessarily they want to get attention, but they don't necessarily want to use press or public relations to do so. Okay? But I'm a big fan of it. I think you guys should definitely take advantage of publicity. And this day and age, you can do press online, right? And then the media come to you. You don't necessarily even have to pitch a story anymore, right? I was talking to one of my, I don't know if she had subscribed to me, but her business was featured on the local news. So she sent me a clip of of her news story, and she was asking me how could she use that clip, which was done in another state, and she had moved to a newer state, like a new state, and she wanted to piggyback off of this clip. So I gave her a few pointers on what she could do to use this particular clip even though the story was pitched in another state, she moved to a new state and she wanted to kind of piggyback off of that. So I kind of gave her a few ideas. Again, that sells. That sells. And I tell people all the time, when people, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, when people see things on the news, or when people see things in the paper, or when people hear things on the radio, when people hear things in the mass, in the media, people automatically assume that it's real. Okay, even if it's a fake story, a fake news, or this, that, and the third, right? We hear that word all the time, fake news. But a lot of people take fake news and it becomes real to them. Like, you can't tell this person that this isn't fake news, right? So again, with the news, using the news, using the media, using the press as a way to kind of get your name out there, to catapult you, I think it's a fantastic way. Lawyers do it all the time, right? They spend a lot of money on television ads and radio ads, but they also use the power of press. Okay, what separates this lawyer from that lawyer? If I ask you guys, how many lawyers do you see on your TV on a daily basis? You probably can give me at least 3 to 5 lawyers, right? That's advertising locally. You know, hit by a car, hospital, you know, this and that, right? You probably can give me 3 to 5 different lawyers. If I ask you guys, advertising or publicity or pub, how many janitorial companies you see on the news or see in the papers that's got a story written up, or hear on your local radio, you probably wouldn't be able to give me one, right? So why not you? Look at it from that perspective. Why not you? You could be the one to take it in your area and take it all the way, right? Just by being able to think outside of the box, okay? Just because there's no local janitorial companies or residential commercial cleaning companies in your area that's on the news don't mean you can't be the one, right? So don't be afraid of pub. And if you're the type that's camera shy, you want to shy away from the camera, you can always outsource and hire someone to be the head, the face of that story, right? They can be the face of the story. You still get the recognition, your company does, right? You still get the recognition, but you use what we call a talking head to be the person that go ahead and do the actual story itself, whereas you don't have to be the face of it. Okay, so moving back again, we want to break things down in a systematic way in 4 quarters. Okay, like I say, it's 4 quarters in a year. That's what we're talking about on this particular video. Now, if you guys have any questions and you're watching me, just go ahead and definitely chime in. But I'm gonna keep going back because I know I got news users that's watching. I'm gonna keep going back so you guys can kind of grab what I'm saying. And the reason I say break it down this way, because again, if I ask you guys, what are you going to do in 2019? You probably tell me what you want to do, what you're thinking about doing, but you don't have any concrete plan. But if you break it down systematically, quarter by quarter, and you really kind of write it down, you jot it down, or you talking to a tape recorder, right? Or to your phone or something that can record, that you can kind of play back and listen to and hold yourself accountable, right? At this point, that's what I would suggest that you guys do. Okay, from the startup process to getting your documents, your paperwork, right? Again, that's very, very important. Getting your paperwork. Then you want to go out and market, right? You use direct mail. You can use cold calling. You can use door to door. You can use SEO. You can use public relations. Right? These are different forms of advertising or marketing that you could use, right, to get your name out there, to build that traction. Okay, hang on, guys, get some coffee here. Ooh, I forgot to put some sugar in it. Yikes. So, but yeah, those are ways that you can kind of build and drum up business. And like I say, what you want to do is gauge it quarter by quarter. Now, what I'm saying, I'm not telling you just to do, let's say, cold calling for the first quarter and don't do any door-to-door. I'm not saying that. You want to do everything. Like, you want to kind of operate your business kind of how a presidential campaign is ran, right? Presidential campaign, they do everything. They send out flyers. They go door-to-door. They call your phone. They solicit you through email. They solicit you through, Facebook, through social media, right? They're all over the place. They're on the radio. They're doing television ads. They're all over the place, right? That's how I would suggest that you set your cleaning business up. right? And I know it's easy said than done, because you might be like, well, Fabio, they have money, and some of that stuff you name costs money. Well, you do what you can do. You do what you can do for the income that you have. Don't be afraid to barter a deal. Barter is just exchanging of services, or like items. I give you this if you give me that. You're bartering, right? Where there's necessarily no money in play, where you're gonna pay for this service. If you do this for me, I'll do that for you. If you give me this, I'll give you that. So you're bartering, right? Excuse me, guys. So that's what I would suggest that you guys do. Run your cleaning business in 2019. I'm going after dealerships this month. They do always ask for insurance. I will get it after I get some accounts. Yeah, that's the best way. That's what I would suggest that you do. Let me see. What's his name? Brian. I think I said it right. Yeah, I think that's right, Brian. That's what I would suggest that you do. Start small. You get some accounts, right? If insurance is a factor, you don't have a money, you get some accounts, and then you use that money to go ahead and get your insurance. Like me, when I first started out, I operated 6 months without insurance. I had very small accounts. Okay. Well, after that 6 months, within that time frame, I had enough money coming in on a month-to-month basis, right? Because you're going to get paid residually month-to-month. I had enough money coming in on a month-to-month basis to be able to afford that insurance. Okay, within a 6-month period. So I'm not saying you guys got to necessarily go that long, but whenever you can afford the insurance, just go ahead. If you can get it right off top, go ahead and get it right off top. But if money is a factor and you don't really have all the money, then do what you can do. Don't let it hinder you from starting your business. Don't let it hinder you from trying to go out and get contracts because you don't have the insurance. Just do what you can do. Okay. So, like I said, guys, once again, you want to kind of gauge your profits. You want to gauge everything. You break it down systematically by quarters. It's 4 quarters in a year. You could break it down because your goal become a little bit more obtainable when you break it down quarter by quarter, opposed to just thinking at it the whole 2019. Like I said before, if I ask you what you're going to do in 2019, you probably kind of give me a gist of what you think about you're going to do, or what you think you're going to do, right? But if you're breaking down quarter by quarter and have a concrete plan written down and kind of follow that, yeah, you're not going to hit every target. Yeah, you might swerve here and swerve there. You're not going to get everything that you have written down, but it gives you some type of guideline to work from. And that's all you need initially. It's not going to go to plan. I'll tell you that now. It's not everything that you put on paper. It's not going to go the way that you think it's going to go. But it'll give you some type of guideline. Okay, and even with that little swerve, you're able to remember what your target was and be able to come back to that, be able to fix that. Okay, because everything is documented, everything is written down. Okay, so I definitely wanted to put that up. I also get emails and questions about people asking me, hey, Fabio, do you still do the lead generation? I don't do the lead generation, but if somebody is really, really serious, we always operating it and running it. If somebody's really, really serious about it, I will, offer it to you. Okay, but it's not something that I am promoting. People ask me about my paperwork. Again, that's the same thing. I don't necessarily promote selling it, but I don't want to hinder anybody. If they wanted to purchase the same paperwork that I use with my company, you can do so. Okay, it's entirely up to you. I'm not going to try to push it on you, sell it to you. If you want to use it, all you got to do is put paperwork in the email. You can email me, bookfabiohart@gmail.com, bookfabiohart@gmail.com. Put paperwork in the subject line. My assistant Jasmine should be able to answer any questions, give you pricing, and all the details when it come down to the paperwork. Okay, let's get things started right now. And if you do get the paperwork and you can't afford to get everything, get what you can get, right? With the money that you have, get what you can get. Okay, if you're going to put your own document together, again, don't be pressured that you got to have all of this stuff all at one time. Okay, get what you can afford to get if you're buying it, or if you're kind of looking it up and you're looking for it online and this type of thing. Just make sure it has some type of professionalism to it, because a lot of stuff that you find online is just not professional at all. Like it has no It's just somebody threw some words on a paper or threw it on the internet, right? And you print it off and you think this is a good deal. I dealt with a young lady that did the same thing. She got a lot of her paperwork offline and she lost a lot of money. And she's doing residential, by the way. So again, you want to make sure you're headstrong and you're up on your paperwork. Try to make it as professional as possible. Okay. If you guys want if you have paperwork, you want me to take a look at it, I would definitely do so. All you got to do is forward it to me at bookfabiohart@gmail.com. I would personally take a look at it. My assistant to say, hey, Jasmine, can you have Fabio take a look at this, right? Send it to me as an attachment. I'll take a look at your flyers. I'll take a look at your contracts. I'll take a look at your non-compete. I'll take a look at any document you want me to take a look at. If I think it's something missing in there, I'll let you guys know. I really want you guys to really keep the faith. I want you guys to really, really believe in yourself. 2019 is your year, and even though it's not here, you need to start today. Okay, it's paramount. It's imperative. You need to start today. Okay, and break it down systematically by quarter. I think your goals will be a lot more attainable when you do it that way. So whether you get a blank piece of paper, like this right here, and you draw a line here and you say quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4. This is my goals for quarter 1. This is my goals for quarter 2. Whether you break it down, however you break it down, as long as you understand it, I would suggest that you break it down by quarters, because it's a lot more, it makes more sense, I believe, and your mind don't, hey, how's it going? And your mind isn't all over the place. Okay? It makes a lot more sense to me, and your mind isn't all over the place. So I kind of took this quarter thing from the way I view my business. Like I say, that's how I view my profit margins. Did I do better in quarter 1 than I did quarter 4? Did I do better in quarter 2 than I did quarter 1? So that's how I gauge if I'm up. Maybe I lost some contracts. Maybe I gained some. Maybe I'm just stagnant. Maybe I didn't really move at all. I didn't get the traction. I didn't pick up any new contracts or whatever the case is. That's how you can kind of gauge. Also, what I would suggest, now that I'm thinking about it, is that you guys give yourself some type of quota. Can you please give your email again? I think I wrote it wrong. I tried to see my script. It's bookfabiohart@gmail.com. That's BOOKF, like Frank, ABIO, Hart, HART, @gmail.com. That's bookfabiohart@gmail.com. All one word, all together. No spaces, no periods, no nothing. bookfabiohart@gmail.com. Okay, so you can send whatever you have, your script, your whatever, your documents. If you want to purchase documents, if you want to purchase coaching, again, we'll work with you on the price. Not really so much about the money. The only thing that I can't work with you on is the lead generation, if you was interested in that, right? Because I still have a staff of people that's going to make those calls, and they have to be paid, right? So I'm already taking an L on that really anyway, right? I'm keeping it low. And the other thing I won't be able to work on is the agreement, okay? Unfortunately, those prices don't change. Anything else I could work with you on if you want to kind of go through me to get it, okay? Otherwise, if you want to send your stuff, I'm thankful for any help I can get. Otherwise, if you want to send your stuff, whatever you have, your flyers, your this, your that, and you want me just to give you my viewpoint, give you my viewpoint at no cost to you, okay? So I just wanted to get that out there. Now, like I said, to kind of go back to the quarter thing, the quarter, that's how you want to gauge your business. I would suggest that's how you want to gauge your business in the beginning. And you want to set yourself a quota. I think I left off kind of like on quota. You want to set yourself a quota in terms of how many contracts you feel that you need to get on a month-to-month basis. Or you can break it down on a quarter basis. Well, you know what? It's 4 quarters in a year. You might say, well, I want to get at least, reasonably thinking, 2 to 3 accounts each quarter. Okay? Maybe you will get more, maybe you will get less, but you want to kind of set a standard for yourself. I do that all the time, even when people making the calls for the lead generation. It's so many appointments that I need to get. Whether I get the contract or not, I need them to get me booked to do so many appointments. That's whether it's in Atlanta, that's whether it's in Toledo, that's whether it's in Michigan, right? So when they make those calls and solicit for us to go in and do the walkthrough, that type of thing, right? I'm paying them to do this service, but I don't want to just pay for free, right? I don't want to just pay them just to pay. I need some results, okay? So I give myself a certain quota that I need to, do this many walkthroughs a month, or you might say I need to do this many walkthroughs a quarter. Okay, so you want to kind of give yourself some type of quota, guys. You want to give yourself, just want to email you my logo, my flyer, sending you my script tomorrow. Thanks. Not a problem. I'll definitely take a look at it. My assistant Jasmine will probably see it before me. Just tell her, make sure you tell her, hey, this is for Fabio. Have him take a look at it. She'll make sure I get it, right? She'll make sure I'll see it. Okay. But like I say, guys, you want to kind of break your business down into quarters. I think it's your goals are a lot more reachable, attainable if you do it that way, opposed to if you think of, what, this is what I want to do 2019, and then 2019 it come and go, right? 2019 it come in and it'd be nothing but like what they call a New Year's resolution that people don't keep. I'm not a big fan of the New Year's resolution. People just don't keep them, right? So if you really want to win, commercial cleaning is what you want to do, residential cleaning is what you really want to do, go ahead, guys, apply yourself. Start today, break it down, right? Make it make sense to yourself. What I don't want you guys to do, I see a lot of people doing this, and I've talked to several individuals, is that there's a lot of people on YouTube that has a cleaning business, or say they have a cleaning business, or talk about cleaning business. And what happens is a lot of you guys listen to everybody videos and watch everybody lives and watch everybody videos, and you kind of get overwhelmed with the idea of cleaning, right? Well, this person said this, and Fabio said this, and this person said that, this person said this. And what you're trying to do, you're trying to box everything that everybody says up, and you want to start your business based on what every single person says. Okay, here's the thing. You want to do what works good for you, and the only way you know if it's going to work good for you is if you try it. Okay, you want to do what works good for you, and the only way you know it's going to work good for you is if you try it. And it's just that simple. I tell people all the time, there's no right or wrong way to do this cleaning business, right? Whether it's residential or commercial, there's no right or wrong way to do it. I'm not this cleaning guy where only you guys can just listen to me, and if you don't listen to me, you're not going to make it. I'll be lying. It's other great people on YouTube that talk about cleaning and stuff like that. Some of them are franchised, some of them aren't franchised. Some of them have valuable information, some just don't have valuable information. But you kind of, that's the unique thing about it. That's the beauty of it. You get to pick and choose who you want to listen to, who you gravitate to, right? Who make it make sense to you, who make it sound doable to you, that type of thing, right? So again, I don't want you guys to get caught up. The whole goal for this video is I wanted to break it down in quarters so it could be a lot more attainable for you guys. And I also wanted to kind of give you a sense of motivation. Again, we're only some days away before the New Year's is in, right? Everybody going to be bringing in the New Year's, having fun, drinks, all of that stuff. And after all of that stuff, after the party is over, it's smoke clear, guys. Trust me, 2020 is going to be here before you know it. So you don't want 2019 to creep by, right? You don't want to wait to May. You don't want to bullshit, and now that summertime has came around, so you had all of this time between now and the summer, and you got nothing done. Okay, I wound up saying this every year. If you guys kind of watch my last year video to the countdown to the New Year's, and the year before that, and the count, it's almost like I say the same stuff. If you're just joining me, guys, go ahead, like, share, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate that. Go ahead, like, share, and subscribe. It takes a lot for me to come and really kind of break this stuff down without sounding redundant and rehashing information. Kind of don't like when I do that, but I do want you guys to be motivated. I do want you to keep the faith in yourself. A lot of people is just giving up on themselves. A lot of people is giving themselves excuses. My kids is this, my auntie is that, I'm working these hours. Look, You have to find a way. You absolutely have to find a way. Okay? It has to become so dire and so vivid that you feel in your mind that there's no other way for me to do this but to take action and get out there and really make it happen. It has to be something in your head to say, you know what, I can really do this. I can really do this. What am I afraid of? Why am I not executing on this? Okay? And once you identify why you're not executing, it should be easy at that point for you to execute on it. Okay? Go ahead and like, share, and subscribe, guys. If you're just joining, I want to get those likes up, get those viewerships up, and get those subscriptions up and things like that. If you're just joining, I want you to go ahead, like, share, and subscribe. Well, like I said, once again, guys, go ahead, make shit rock, make shit happen. Don't wait till 2019 until the ball dropping all of this stuff and you say, oh, now I'm really about to do this business. Tax return is coming up. Once again, I wound up saying this stuff every year. Tax return is coming up. Use your tax return strategically. Strategically. I know so many of you guys say, well, Fabio, when I get my tax return, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this about my business. And then you get your tax return, and come July, we're talking about stuff that you really should have got in January, right? Or February, once you got your taxes back. You haven't gotten it because you took your tax return and you blew it, you didn't invest it, you didn't maneuver it right, and now your tax return is gone, and you still have no business, you still have no revenue, you're still not getting residual sales, residual income coming in. And that's the cool thing about this business is it'll come in residually. As long as you do what you're supposed to do, them people, they're going to cut the check. When you stop performing at your ultimate best or performing the way you're supposed to perform, then obviously you know what's going to happen behind that, right? They're going to let you go. So again, guys, I need you to stay focused. Keep the faith in yourself. Don't let nobody deter you. Don't let nobody deter you from your business or what your goal is. Whether it's a commercial cleaning business, whether it's a residential cleaning business, whether it's not even a cleaning business, and it's a whole nother business. Don't let anybody talk you out of it. If you got a job, no matter how hateful you hate the job or how much you're against the job, stick in there, guys. Stick in there. Because at the end of the day, the little money that you're making from the job will be able to not only help your bills, but a portion of it will be able to help your business. You don't want to come down to where I was, right? To hear this, Fabio Swear motivating me. I've been so scared. Yeah, don't be scared. You know, like I say, my passion is definitely behind. I know you guys can do this. I absolutely know you can do this. But I know you can do it. Do you know you can do it? I know you can do it, but do you know you can do it? Do not let fear take over the fact that there's so many people around you that you probably don't even know about, right? I'm talking about within a 5, 10, 15 mile radius of you. That's starting a business and that's getting traction. And then you don't hear about them until they're making on the local news, or you kind of see them on Facebook and they splurging a little bit, or they're kind of moving up and you see they building traction. You see their flyers in the city, you know, you see their t-shirts in the city. People, you know, again, guys, you want to be able to execute on your plan and stay determined behind your plan. Don't give up on yourself. Clock in on yourself. Just like you're going to get up in the morning, you're going to clock in for your employer, right? Clock in on yourself and stay on the clock. Don't go home early. You don't get a sick day when you're self-employed. You fight through it. You battle through it. Okay? There's a lot of people on my channel that's making a lot of money. A lot of money. I talked to them. A lot of them ordered my flyers. A lot of them went through my lead generation program. A lot of them just didn't order anything, right? And they just watch the videos. They listen to what I say. They take notes like it's like their life depended on it. And they're making money. What separates them from you? I'm going to tell you what separates them from you. They believe in themselves and they took action. They believe in themselves and they took action. They didn't let what the naysayers say get to them. They didn't let their aunt, their mom, their uncle, their dad. They didn't let nothing, the brother, the sister. They didn't let none of that get to them. They believed in themselves. They took action and they stayed consistent. That's the only way that you're going to be able to get these contracts, guys. Take action and stay consistent. Like I say, 2019 is right around the corner. You don't even have to wait. You can start tonight. Break it down, the 4-quarter cleaning system. It's 4 quarters in a year. Break it down by quarter. Write it down. This is my expectation. This is what I plan to do quarter 1. This is what I plan to do quarter 2. Or maybe you can't see it that vividly so do it quarter by quarter. Do a 4-quarter quadrant, right? Q1. This is what I plan to do. Just put Q2 over there, Q3 right there, Q4, whatever the case is. You don't even have to put anything in those spaces right now, right? Because you might not be able to visualize what you want to do in those quarters to get close to those quarters. So just work with first quarter. And then get everything, hold yourself accountable. Stay focused. Fuck being lit. Fuck the club. Fuck the shenanigans. Excuse my French, but I got upset this way. It's real in the field over here, right? I really want you guys to make it go. To make it go. You've been waiting too long, guys. You've been watching way too many lives of mine. Some of you guys ordered my paperwork. You haven't done anything with it. You know. Some of you guys, we spent money on the coaching with me. You haven't done anything with the information. Why do you got money to give away? Why do that? Right? Some of you have bought courses and bought books and bought this. And you read the information and you did nothing with it. But you owe it to yourself. You owe it to your wife. You owe it to your husband. You owe it to your kids to make shit happen. To make shit happen. You don't have it's not an option. It's not an option. It's a must. You must make it happen. It ain't no, well, maybe I can't do it. It's not no, maybe I can't. It's I will. I must. You know, don't get out of the should. Maybe I should. Could this work? Just do it and see if it works. Just do it and see if it works. I don't know everything that there is to know about commercial cleaning, guys. But just try something. Just because I haven't spoke on it, just because I haven't, bumped up against it, don't mean it can't work. You might have an idea that you never heard me talk about. And you might be able to plug me into it. You might be able to say, Fabio. And I might be able to take that same idea. You guys can help me out. I might be able to take that same little thing that you tried, that you thought wasn't going to work, to actually work. And I might be able to try it and execute on it and get the same result as you. But in order for us to get that result, what do we have to do? In order for us to get that result, what do we have to do? We have to take action. You have to stay consistent. You have to do it daily. Not, I'm tired today. Ain't no tired. Ain't no tired. You were tired yesterday when you went to work for your boss too, right? And then they made you do mandatory overtime. Or they kept you an extra hour or two over. So you was tired as fuck when you got off of work, right? But I guarantee you're going to come home. You may or may not eat dinner. You're going to take a shower. You're going to get your kids together if you got to do that, right? You're going to lay down and you're going to be right back there tomorrow. And you're tired as fuck. And you're tired as fuck. It's no time for a break when it's come down to your livelihood, guys. And your job is not guaranteed. Your job, always look at your job as temporary. Looking at it that way should scare the shit out of you within itself. Look at your job as temporary. You can get replaced. Somebody can start something with you and fire you. You can have it could be acquired, it could be an acquisition done, a buyout. You know, they can have cuts, employment cuts, and you just one of the ones on the chopping list. You know, some of you guys have jobs where you have really good weeks. You have really good weeks, and then some of you have jobs where, you know, it's not banging this week, or we got a low week this week. It's not much production, so they don't need us this week. Some of you guys work for a temp agency. That's not guaranteed. They say if you work 90 days in, we're going to hire you full time, or 120 days in, we're going to hire you full time. And right before the 90th day, they lay you off. And all they do is just replace you, just so they don't have to pay you that insurance benefit. They know they hire you full time. They got to at least offer you insurance, health insurance. They cut you off, get another applicant to come in, replace them to do the same thing that you was just doing. Then they cut them off at the 89th thing. And then they pick and choose who they hire. You know, they play this game. I'm talking about like staffing agency guys or temp services, right? Again, guys, why you want somebody to play with your livelihood like that? They eat. Every single month they eat. Their kid's eating. Your boss, his kid's eating. You know, his job not secure either, by the way, right? But he's just doing just enough to stay afloat, to keep his ass out of hot water. But you're on the lowing tolling pole. That can't possibly be great for you guys. You can't possibly think I'm living the life. I'm living my best life. You can't possibly think that. But if you put yourself in position, you know, you stay up late at night and making moves. Yeah, you're going to be tired, but it's going to pay off handsomely. As soon as you get that first contract. When I got my first contract, that was belief in myself that I will be able to do this business, both residential and commercial. When I got my first contract was a commercial account. And then when I did decide to take a stab at the residential side, I'm like, man, I don't think I'm going to get no houses. Like, that's what I was thinking. Until I got a house. So that restored the faith in myself that I will be able to do this business on a residential or commercial side. And then I started dabbing into window cleaning, carpet cleaning. So we do all of these different things to outsource and have vendors and different things, right? But again, I started with one thing. I made it successful, which is the commercial side of things. I branched out to residential. Felt like I made that successful, right? Then I branched out to doing window cleaning, right? And then you just kind of build upon that. But don't rush it, guys. If you know you want to do all of those things, don't try to do them all at one time. I'll tell you that now. Because you're going to be all over the place. Become successful at one thing, or whatever you deem success to be, and then take it all the way. And then you branch out to something else. But don't try to do everything all at one time. And when it's a struggle just for you just to do one thing, right? For you just to do the residential side, just try to get it one home. It's a struggle for you to try to get one commercial building, one commercial contract. Again, guys, you break this thing systematically. Break it down systematically. Break it down as 4 quarters in a year. Break it down per quarter. Okay? If you got a vivid understanding as to what you want to do in all 4 quarters, just break it down in the 4-quarter quadrant. Quarter 1, this. Quarter 2, I'm going to do that. Quarter 3, that way you can always refer back to your notes. Right? You'll always be able to refer back to your notes. Boom, you draw a 4-quarter quadrant. Right? Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. And then you kind of list under each Q what your intentions are, what you plan on doing. That way, after the first quarter, you can look and say, what did I complete? Fuck, you know what? I didn't execute hard enough on that. I didn't get that done. All right, well, I'm not going to worry about it. Now we're going into quarter 2. I'm going to make it my business to make up for what I didn't do in quarter 1. At least try to. So add it to quarter 2 and try to make it up. Again, guys, you got to apply pressure to yourself. You got to apply pressure to yourself. If you're not willing to add pressure, you're not willing to fail, you got to be willing to fail. Failure only make you stronger. And I'm not trying to sound cliche, but it's facts, it's truth. Failure only make you stronger. But you got to be willing to put yourself out there. If you don't put yourself out there, you won't even know if you will win, lose, or draw. You don't know if you're a fail or succeed because you're too scared to put yourself out there. Guys, let's not make this let's not make this time 2019, Christmas time and all of this. 2019, let's not be in the same position we are in right now. Let's not do that. Believe in you, take action, and you will win. Believe in you, take action, and you will win. But you have to stay constant. You have to stay consistent. Let me read some of these comments here. Hey, Fabio, realistic to believe I can make $100,000 without help working 20-hour cleaning. I think you probably have to put in a lot more than 20 hours working 20 hours cleaning. Yeah, you have to put in a lot more than 20 hours to, reach that mark, and that's just being realistic. Okay. In theory, you can do $100,000. It's going to take work, though. A man with no time and a half on Christmas. Yeah, no time and a half on Christmas, right? Fabio, correct. Yeah, you're correct. Thank you so much for helping us. I am sticking with it. And it's building slow but surely. That's how it's supposed to be, Miss B. Stay at it. Stay at it. Don't let any naysayers, don't let what anybody say and tease you and have you thinking. Tell the world about it. And give a fuck what the world think about it. Excuse my French, but it is what it is. You can tell the world, hey, I'm starting up a cleaning business. Whether they like it or love it, start the cleaning business. Guys, some of the same people that talked about me back in the day when I first started my cleaning business are some of the same people that, hey, Fab, man, look, brother, down bad right now, man. I'm trying to see if y'all hiring. And those was the same people that didn't believe in me back in 2012 and 2013 and stuff like that. Laughing, he have a cleaning business until I started dressing different. Until my bravado was a little different. Until my swag came a little different. Until I started doing different things that I wasn't doing before. Because of what the cleaning business could afford me to do. Now I'm looked at as, he think he all that. He got to clean the business, and I'm okay with all of that, man. People throw shots at you on Facebook, on Instagram, and different things like that. You have to ignore it. They seeking attention, and you just don't. Right now, you just don't have time to give it to them. You have, bigger fish to fry right now, and giving them attention shouldn't be, that fish that you're trying to fry right now. Guys, I just really hope this makes sense. Again, if I can help you in any way, I'm here. If you need anything that I offer, whether it's a contract, whether it's a lead generation, whatever, like I say, those particular prices don't change. They stay what they, where they are. But other documents and other things, we could work something out. If you need my coaching, that's just $100 an hour. You don't even have to have multiple hours. You can just do 1 hour coaching. I'm going to give it to you, straight out the mud. A to Z, help you craft your plan, give you how I set my situation up. Hopefully you take elaborate notes, right? And be able to execute on those notes that you took down. Okay? Again, I tell people all the time, I'm Fabio Hart. I'm no better than anybody else. I just work harder than everybody else. I'm no better than anybody else. I just think a little differently than anybody else. Outside of the box. I try not to do things conventionally, because when you do things conventionally, you get conventional pay. Conventional pay is what a lot of your competition is getting, around the same amount of pay. But when you do something a little differently, extraordinary, outside of the box, unconventionally, you get unconventional pay, which is where your competition get to calling you, right? Like the calls that I get, the emails that I get, you know, from the competition or from franchises and stuff like that. I'm independent. You guys know I'm independent. I get calls and emails from franchises. I'm no different than nobody else. I just think a little differently than everybody. But I believe in myself. You guys probably can see that in my videos. I believe in myself wholeheartedly. I take action. You can do the exact same thing. There's no difference between you and I. Maybe age, maybe ethnicity, maybe religion, maybe hair type, eye color, height, weight. That's it. We all bleed the same type of blood. Different blood types, but when it come out, it's the same color. Let's put it that way, right? We all shed the same color blood. We all get the same 24 hours in a day. It's what you do with the 24 hours that dictate if you're going to be successful. It's what you do with the 24 hours. Don't worry about what Joe Blow cleaning company is doing. Because sometimes that'll get to you when you see somebody else that's doing cleaning in your local area or online and they have this type of, you kind of be like, oh man, fuck. This person is having success. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, that's the attitude sometimes, guys. That's the attitude sometimes. But don't let that dictate your success. If anything, see what they're doing. Model it, duplicate it, and make it work for you. Because if it's working for them, there's a high chance if you duplicate that same action, it could work for you. Okay? So again, guys, like I say, I want you guys to break your business down into 4 quarters. I think it's a lot more attainable. It's a lot more doable. You know, from the setup process, you know, get your name, register your name, your EIN, your bank account, your this, your insurance, you get all of that stuff. That's level 1. Level 2 is your paperwork. Organize your paperwork. Have it done, because nothing makes sense than going out, soliciting contracts, and now it's time to do an agreement and you don't have a contract. I get so many calls and emails. Fabio, I got to buy your contract. Can I please buy your contract right now? I got to buy your contract because I don't have a contract right now. And the people, I did the walkthrough. I gave them my numbers. They accept my numbers, but I need a contract to sign for them to sign. I don't have a contract. I want a good contract. How much is your contract? Try to get that stuff out, you know, right now. Try to get that stuff right now. Like whatever you can afford, like I will work with you. The only thing I can't work with you on is the contract, because my lawyer put it together, right? It cost me down to $3,000 to do my contract. So I only sell that for $500. That's what you're going to pay for that. The lead generation, I have people make those calls for me. So essentially I have to pay them. I'm really taking a loss on that, but that's $300, right? So those are the only things that I won't be able to work on, but any other document, the coaching, it's $100. I know you guys can do that, right? So I'm working with you. I want you to get it, right? I'm not trying to beat you out the bank, right? But certain things come with a cost, right? You're either going to pay in time or you're going to pay in money. I always tell people that all the time. Whether you hire somebody to do a service for you or you outsource something, you're going to pay them money or you're going to have to do it yourself, or it just won't get done, which will hurt you really, really bad. Okay? So again, I want you guys to understand, I want you to invest in yourself. Motivation-wise, if you know you're terrible at motivation, get online. If you're terrible at motivation, get online, get on YouTube, right? Type in, motivation speech, motivational videos, and get that motivation. Because sometimes I get it. It's hard when people don't believe in you. A lot of times people don't believe in your success until you become successful. Then they believe. You have to hold yourself accountable. Okay? So again, guys, if you have any questions, go ahead and shoot them out to me. If you're interested in anything that I'm offering, it's totally up to you. I'm not trying to press anything on you, try to sell anything, right? Because I really don't make a profit from anything that I sell, right? It just goes into my marketing budget, and it helps me just go ahead and market my business out. Okay? So that's number one. But if you got flyers, you got this, you got certain things you want me to take a look at, feel free to send them over to me. I'll take a look at them. And I'll literally tell you what I would add in there, what I would take out, what I think you need, what I think you don't need. I will kind of give you those things. If you need to talk to me briefly, when you email me, put your name in the email and your phone number. Hey, can you have Fabi give me a call? I'll personally give you a call. It won't be my assistant. I'll personally give you a call. Okay. So again, if you guys have any questions, I'd be more than happy to go ahead and entertain them now. If not, I'll go ahead and wrap it up. I just wanted to make this kind of two-part type of video from a motivational standpoint and a systematic standpoint on how to build your commercial cleaning system and breaking it down by 4 quarters. Okay. Again, my email, thanks a lot for your time and help. Okay, not a problem. My email is bookfabiohart@gmail.com. That's BOOK, F like Frank, A like Apple, B like boy, IOHART@gmail.com. Bookfabiohart@gmail.com. Bookfabiohart@gmail.com. BOOK, F like Frank, A like Apple, B like boy, IOHART@gmail.com. Bookfabiohart@gmail.com. Okay. Okay. So if you guys don't have any questions, or if you do, I'm gonna go ahead and let you go now. You can go ahead and email your questions over, or you can just leave them here on the video, and when I check the comments and stuff like that, I'll reply back to the questions that you have. But that'll go ahead and do it for now. I'm Fabio Hart. The only person that can ever stop you from starting up your own dreams and making it to the top is you. And remember, my email is bookfabiohart@gmail.com. That's BOOK, F like Frank, A like Apple, B like boy, IOHART@gmail.com. That's all one word, bookfabiohart@gmail.com. Take care.